hour. It's noon on the East Coast, and we're always happy to have anyone joining us from coast to coast and all around the world. Today, we are going to be talking about a very important work-ready, job-ready topic, and that is the need that employers have, and I emphasize need, for individuals with strong people skills. Oftentimes, these skills are referred to as soft skills, but we're getting some pushback from employers recently who are saying, stop calling them soft skills because these are essential skills. These are skills that we need on the job. And for all of you who are joining us today, our essential education students, our essential education dreamers and doers, these are skills that you need to be aware of. And it's also important to note as we kick this off that because these are skills, they are things that can be taught, just like any other skills, like a study skill or a testing skill. So as you are working toward your high school equivalency credential, have this mindset of lifelong learning and have this mindset of, hey, if I can take on the skills that I needed to pass my high school equivalency exam, the GED, the HiSET, or the task, then I can build and learn skills to grab that job that I've always wanted. So we're going to be addressing the top 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 skills that employers are looking for that fall under this umbrella of people skills. The first one is super easy. You ready? It's good manners. It's just that old adage of what your grandma or your mom told you as you were headed out the door, have good manners today. Please and thank you. Holding doors, simple greetings, and a simple, hey, have a great day, or hey, thank you for working on this, or hey, thank you for helping me with this. Build relationships on the job. And employers and those that research employment show again and again that those relationships that you build on the job are key to networking. And networking then is the glue that helps you to continue to move up in the field of your choice. Often who you know and having people know you and your skill set is a huge factor in your ability to take on new projects and to take on new roles, maybe take on some new leadership opportunities. And having good manners is a great place to start. It's something that's kind of become a lost art. So if you implement intentional daily manners in what you do, you will be a standout candidate, and then you'll continue on to be a standout employee. Number 2, honesty. Again, it goes back to basics. If you've ever heard that phrase, honesty is the best policy, then you learned some truth back in the day. Honesty is essential to building strong and valued communication on the job. And that starts when you're in your interview. If you're interviewed about a given skill set that you may not have, say so. It doesn't help anyone to be dishonest and say, well, I think I did something kind of like that. No, be honest and say, you know what, that's not a skill that I currently have, but it's something I'd like to learn about. It's something I would like to develop. And in doing so, you show yourself to be honest, and you get the opportunity to show that you are someone worth investing in, that you're someone who wants to continue to grow and professionally develop yourself. Start with a solid framework of honesty and then continue that in the day in and day out. And you know where that gets a little tricky? When things go wrong, when there are missteps on the job. Own your mistakes, be able to be the bigger person and say, you know what? This did not go in the way that I wanted it to, but I've learned these 2 or 3 things from this misstep, and going forward in the future, it won't happen again. Establishing that platform of honesty shows that you are someone that can be counted on from day one into the day-to-day. So we've got good manners and we've got honesty. Our third top people skill is body language. Just like your words have power, your bodies speak volumes. They are always saying something in a positive and a negative way, even if you don't mean it to. So be aware of what your tells are. If you aren't really sure what you're saying with your body, Bring along a friend or a family member and say, hey, can you help me evaluate my communication skills? Because I'm wondering if maybe I'm saying or doing something that I may not want to say or do. Evaluate your body language, because having a good, outwardly pleasing, outwardly positive demeanor, no eye rolls, no lack of eye contact, those types of things will help you to be very engaging on the job and in life in general. All right, number 4, having good judgment. And this is not the type of judgment that's talking about a judge with a gavel that makes decisions for right or wrong. It's having good judgment along the lines of solving problems. If you're someone who has a good radar, if you've always been told, hey, you're really good at kind of getting to the heart of the matter, then you may have good judgment. And employers need that. Employers need someone who can push back and see the big picture and say, you know what? We might think the problem might be this, this, or this, but if we whittle it down, the problem might be right here. Being able to have a good judge of both a circumstance and a good judge of character, knowing who you can trust and being a trustworthy person in your own right. Which brings us to the next point, trustworthiness. Trustworthiness and honesty kind of go hand in hand, but on the job, employers are looking for people that they can count on, people who do what they say they'll do. If there's a due date, meet it or exceed it. If there's a time that you are supposed to start work or start on a new project or start a meeting or meet someone, a client or someone you're meeting with on the job, a supervisor, a mentor, be there on time or be there early. Create yourself to be someone that can be counted on. This is a valuable skill, not only in work, but in life as well. People want to be able to count on you, so show them that they can. The other thing is flexibility. If we have seen anything over the last few years in our rapidly changing job market, employers are looking for employees who can roll with the punches, who can work from home all of a sudden when they've always worked in person, who can start to virtually communicate with people when they've always had in-person communication, who can learn a new system or a process even if they've been working in a job for 5 to 10 years. Flexibility is valued. It shows you're teachable and that you're willing to learn new things. So make sure that you can bob and weave and move with the changes of life or the changes in your given industry or field. You also want to be an active listener. A lot of people erroneously think that listening is literally, I'm listening and it's going in one ear and coming out the other, but it's just not the case. Active listeners are engaged. Active listeners have eye contact, even in a virtual format. Active listeners use head nods. Maybe they give a or a yes, or they are actively available to answer questions when prompted. Active listening is essential in an interview, and it's also essential in your day-to-day operations. You have to be an active listener in your communications with supervisors and coworkers, because it is important that everyone be heard. You want to be heard, right? So you would want to extend that same common courtesy to someone else in sharing thoughts and ideas. One thing that I've started to do just to make sure that I'm an active listener is to say, okay, well, what I hear you saying is this, and kind of recap my takeaways from the conversation. Or I think what you'd like for me to do now is this, and kind of recap my to-do list going forward. It shows that you were listening, it shows that you're engaged, and it shows that you're ready to move forward. Our next one is encouragement. Be an encourager on the job. Everyone needs a cheerleader, so why not let that be you? Why not be the person on the side that sees the unseen, that sees people and says, hey, I want to come alongside you and just say, you did a good job today. We all like that type of encouragement from other people, so it's natural that Other people need to get that from us. Be an encourager. And you know what? It doesn't have to be a Miss Mary Sunshine, everything's wonderful all the time. It can be just a silent head nod to someone and say, hey, I saw what you did. It was important and it helped me. So be an encourager on the job. Employees are looking for that. Also, express empathy. Empathy is a little bit different than sympathy. It runs a little bit deeper. It runs more into what employers and big buzzwords are saying right now as far as emotional intelligence. The ability to come alongside and truly try to connect with someone, to truly understand where they're coming from. And, I think that we all have different life circumstances. We all have different paths that we followed. And we could all stand to just listen and learn about someone else's individual circumstances, someone else's individual successes, and maybe if they're vulnerable enough to share their failures or their missteps along the way. That's one of the best things that you can do in a mentoring relationship, is have someone come alongside you and share what worked for them and what didn't. And it takes that sense of empathy along the way to do that. And above all else, the biggest people skill that you can bring to the table always in study, work, and life is self-evaluation. Your ability to look at yourself, look at your own strengths and weaknesses, and course correct is truly, truly valuable. People don't like to do this. People don't like to look at their weaknesses. They don't like to look at their trouble spots because it means taking a critical eye at yourself. But being able to do so will allow you to see the gaps that you need to fill, and then how you need to create a plan forward in filling those gaps. Employers are looking for people that aren't perfect. They're looking for people that focus on progress, and the progress of the organization and the job and the company, the service, whatever it might be. Shoot for progress over perfection. And the first step in doing that is to self-evaluate. We thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that today's quick tips have been helpful. Again, we've covered 10 successful people skills that employers are looking for on the job for success in work and success in life as well. As always, we want to invite you to get more involved in our organization here at Essential Education by becoming an enrolled student with us, by becoming a follower on our social media channels on Facebook and Instagram. Our enrolled student population continues to grow, and those students are surprised and encouraged over and over again at just how intense and personalized and individualized our prep programs for study, work, and life truly are. So if you'd like to learn more, reach out to a student advisor today at 1-800-460-8150, or check us out online at www.essentialed.com/students. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great day.